What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone, and welcome back to a preview. The preview was supposed to be live, but I'm not feeling well, so it's a pre-record. It is what it is, I guess. But we play PSV tomorrow in the playoff round of the Champions League. It's a game we already played this season. I think it was our first home game in the Champions League against PSV. We won 3-1. But it's a different situation for both teams, for us, obviously, as well for PSG, which we're going to talk about in a second. It's an important game. I'm gonna lie, but I'm gonna say if we make it to the next round, it's between 11 and 60 million euro extra for the club. So it's a lot of money for the club that we definitely need in the summer or just now, however you want to look at it. And besides the money thing, we won 2 games in a row. I'm not sure we won 3 in a row this season, and the last time we won 2 in a row was, I think, November or something like that. So it is important that we build some sort of momentum going into the Inter game as well. But just for the season, we need to have some sort of continuity. We need to have some sort of belief within this group that they can start winning games week after week, basically. After a crazy run of not winning games and drawing games and losing games, whatever it is. So it is important, and obviously in the Champions League, I think anyone believes we're going to win the Champions League, but you want to win that game. You want to make it to the next round and then see what happens in the next round. And also for this group of players, it's important that they start playing more games on a different level than Serie A because they need experience. We have kind of a young squad, but also an experienced squad in terms of actually playing high-level pressure games. I think that's more than the issue than just, not playing a lot of games at the top flight, just high-pressure games with a lot at stake. I think that is an issue that's missing within this group of players, But before we get further into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, bell notification on as well. But yeah, PSV, we won 3-1 early on in the season. Different game. Even back then, they were missing a lot of players, PSV, especially at the back. They were playing like kids, or unexperienced players. And they were very naive, PSV, at the time. They're still the same side in terms of they score a lot of goals. That's a team that wants to keep the ball. It's a team that, attacks a lot. It's a team that uses the wings a lot with Bakayoko especially. It's a team that, is not going to come to the stadium and sit back because that's not who they are. And I think the moment they try to do that is where they totally will collapse. I watched part of that Liverpool game, or I had it on, and they attacked. Yeah, Liverpool was not full strength, but, they took the game to Liverpool, even going down and whenever conceding goals, they kept on going because that's their thing. Now, that's where our chances lie. They are not the quote-unquote scary side they were last season. I think they are level on points with Ajax in the league, and Ajax have a game in hand. When at the start of the season, everybody thought, okay, they're going to run away with it. If you looked at how Ajax started the season and PSV started the season and how they, managed to go through the season last year as well, they are still naive, in my opinion. That's where I think our strength should lie tomorrow, is where we will have the opportunity to hurt them on the break, to use the quality we have up top as well, to punish them when they leave space. Now, the danger for us is obviously when they attack. I thought we had an issue before the 1-0 from Yildiz a couple of months ago on the right-hand side with Bakayoko. He had so much time to pick up the space, receive the ball, cut inside, and I didn't like that in that instant. And if we go into the lineup, it could become an issue tomorrow, and I'll talk about that in a sec as well. But you cannot let them take the game to you. They will take the game to you, but you cannot sit there and accept that they are going to have the ball and keep on pushing, because you're going to lose that game and you're going to concede a couple of goals tomorrow. So you're going to need to be brave. You're going to need to believe in your own strengths, which we do have, and you need to start, be proud. You play at home, PSV, away to PSV is going to be very difficult. So we're going to need to make the difference tomorrow with a win, and hopefully a win a win with a bigger margin than 1-0 or something, or 2-1. It needs to be some sort of cushion that we create going away to Eindhoven next week. So that is PSV in a nutshell, basically. Technically very good as well. Set pieces, very good with De Jong. So they have their things, and we saw that, the last time around, before the 1-0, and when we were up 3-0, obviously it was 3-0, and we decided to whatever. But even at that time, you saw they could play. They can actually play, and they're not a team you can just put aside and be like whatever. So, but yeah, that's that. And that's what Motta also had to say, that they respect them. They're a quality team. They play European football every year, so they're no mucks. They're not a team that plays Champions League or plays European football and then goes missing for 3 seasons, maybe a bit like Roma or Lazio do at time to time. I'm talking about Champions League. So it's a team with experience. They have experienced players. They have quality players as well, young. They're dynamic. So it's going to be interesting. That's what Motta also had to say. Same for Locatelli. Kind of a box standard presser in general. I think Motta spoke about the team growing, improving. And we can debate that if there has been improvement. And Locatelli said we're not the same team we were when we played PSV. I was like, not really. I thought back then we were a bit more braver, and we kind of switched play more often and made it easier for us to unlock teams and be dangerous. So I'm not sure what he's talking about there. He talked about, I'm the captain. It's a dream to play for this club, but it's up to me and the others as well, to install some sort of know-how, basically, what it means to play for Juve. And I'm like, cool, but you actually haven't won a lot with us as well. It's not only his fault, obviously, but like I'm looking at Locatelli, I'm like, I'm not even sure if you know what it actually means playing for this club. It's not a diss or something, but that's the situation we're in as a group right now. But other than that, Motta talked about the players, the bench, obviously. We have more players on the bench, saying that the players coming off the bench or not playing a lot, or starting a game when they usually don't start a game, they're going to need to be important. Because they get an opportunity to showcase, to make a case for Motta to play him more often, obviously. And he was like, I'm happy with how the bench players are reacting, or the players that don't play often, how they come in and take on that job and push on the team, take the team to a different level within games when it's not going easy, or when it's a bit tougher and we need something different. So that was all the things he was saying, a lot of standard things that you would expect him to say in a presser. I think he feels the pressure of the game, because there is pressure for the game. We need to win that game. Obviously, like it speaks for itself that we need to win that game tomorrow, for so many different reasons. Obviously the money, the status of the club, the streak you're trying to build, because again, like 2 wins is good, even though the Como win was not a statement win where it's like, okay, that's it. We actually really built on that Empoli game. It wasn't really that, so we need to do something. And usually in the Champions League, we play a bit more looser, but against Bruges and especially Benfica, we were terrible. So yeah, I expect some sort of different vibe and energy, just purely also because I think PSV will bring that vibe and energy. They're not going to sit back. They have nothing to lose, and they're just going to go for it as well. So it's going to be interesting from that regard. Other than that, he didn't really have a lot to say. So let's get into the predicted lineup with some shocks. Obviously the new guys are registered; they can play. Alberto Costa, not the case. So let's see what's up with Alberto Costa. Will he get minutes in Serie A? From reports, it suggests he's not getting minutes anytime soon. But for the Champions League, we have players, and they're starting 2 of them. So Di Gregorio on goal, Gatti and Vega at the back, as the last 2 games in the league. Wea on the wing, Savona left back, and I'll talk about that in a sec. Then Locatelli, Thuram, and Douglas Luiz, Koopmeiners on the bench. Gonzalez, Yildiz, and Kolomani. Vlahovic on the bench again. I don't think... let's start off with Savona, because he's getting a lot of criticism, and it's fair because he's not playing well. I thought his flaws, like his limitations, are really showing right now. Now, in this case, I'm looking at Motta, because I don't think he looks comfortable on the left wing at all. I'm not saying start him on the right wing because he's a monster because lately he hasn't been playing well on the right wing right back, excuse me, as well. But at left back for 2 games, he looks lost, like really lost. He's really struggling to keep up with the pace, like linking up play. Excuse me, picking up runners in his back. Like reminds me of Alexandro towards his last part of his career at Juve, where he couldn't sense the danger behind in his back. Like, and he always had a runner just running overlapping, and he had no clue what's happening. I don't think Motta is doing him any favors by playing him left back. He's really, really struggling. Is Weah the answer? Is McKennie the answer? I don't know. Like, he will give me more peace at that, because he's gonna play against Bakayoko. It's gonna be tough. I thought Bakayoko was causing problems when we had a fit back line, in that first 20 minutes before that Yildiz goal. So I'm a bit scared about that. He's not playing well, Savona. He's getting yellow cards. He's making a lot of fouls, which he usually didn't do. And forget about just showing up in and around the box, which he did on the right-hand side. Maybe not, decisive with good crosses and whatever and taking on players. But on the left wing, on the left back, he's not even making it, to pass midfield, basically, which is also not good for a player like Yildiz, because you're going to ask Yildiz to do it on his own yet again. And I don't think that's a good idea, especially when you watch that first PSV game where all the danger came was with Koopmeiners overlapping, Yildiz coming inside. So I'm a bit scared from the Savona one, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, Koopmeiners bench is a shock in terms of, not because of how he's playing, because if Motta's being honest and he plays the players he thinks deserve to play purely based on merit, then Koopmeiners doesn't deserve to start. He's not been playing well, not to say he's playing horrible, basically, because he is playing horrible lately, if I'm being completely honest. But he said, I like what Koopmeiners is doing. He's doing well. He's doing what I'm asked to do. He said, I didn't read any negative things surrounding Koopmeiners, which is obviously obviously he read all those things. But yeah, not playing Koopmeiners would be a big statement, because I think it's deserved. He shouldn't be playing. And Douglas Luiz, what everybody thinks of Douglas Luiz is fine, but we cannot expect Douglas Luiz to play lights out football when he's getting 20 minutes. Then he sits on the bench. Then he starts the game again, sits on the bench, get 20 minutes again. There's no consistency. So if you want to make up a good, statement, or make it clear that, okay, I think that's what Douglas Luiz is for us, then you need to give him some sort of trust and give him some sort of minutes, because I think when he came on with Thuram, we had some hold in that midfield. It looked much better. It looked more calm, composed. It wasn't erratic. It wasn't all over the place. So yeah, I mean, Koopmeiners being benched, I think it's deserved. Is it gonna happen? It's predicted lineup. Everybody's predicting it, so you would assume it's gonna happen. But it's Koopmeiners and it's Motta, so it's not 100% a certainty that he's gonna do that. But as of now, that is the predicted lineup. And then obviously Kolomani up top. I think nobody's surprised about that right now. He has 5 goals in 3 games, so you're gonna play Kolomani. Whatever you think about Vlahovic, wages, and whatever, you play the guy who's on fire, and you see if he can keep that fire burning against PSV, because right now he's converting at a 100% rate. It's ridiculous, but that's the case. So you would hope that tomorrow it's just an extension of what he has shown ever since he came into the club, where it's like, I'm playing well, I'm confident, he's confident. I think he's a player who came here to prove a point that he's still that guy. It's not a flop and whatever. That the price tag is not his issue. What I've always said, that he understands what it means, to play for the club. He's determined. He's selfish. Like he's unselfish. Like he runs for the players. Like he runs after the ball. He puts on pressure. He tracks back. He links up play. Even against Empoli in that first half, at times we're just bopping the ball, like long balls to him, and he was Empoli first half as well, and he was trying to run at everything with determination, not just I'm just gonna jog towards the ball. That was never a good ball, and probably shouldn't be running to it. So he's showing the right motivation, and that's good. That's probably why he's getting the goals right now in these 3 games. So obviously he's going to start, and I think that's deserved as well. So yeah, that's a predicted lineup. Let's see, is that enough to score goals against PSV? Yeah, it should. Is that also enough to concede goals? Yeah, I think we concede goals. I think you would. I'm assuming that we will concede goals basically in every game we're going in. I think we're going to concede goals. I don't rate that back line. You have Weah, you have Savona, you have Vega with question marks, and you have Gatti still with question marks. So it's not going to, like, I rewatched the Como goal, and yeah, Colt Miners made a mistake, and Locatelli gave away a super corner, but the ball gets whipped in, and there are two players just on his own at the back post. One of them was the guy who made a header, at the front post with a corner initially. So it's off. It's off. That back line is off. Like defensively, I don't think it's good enough, and also aerial, like with corners and free kicks and stuff, were not good, and that's a shame because Luke De Jong is very good at it. So that is always a question mark. So I think we're going to concede goals. I'm actually convinced we're going to concede goals. My prediction is 2-1. I think we will win that game because we must. We really need to win that game. But I think we're going to concede as well, because we always concede lately. So 2-1 is my prediction. Hopefully, I'm wrong in terms of it will be a much bigger win and it will be a fantastic evening. So let's all hope for that. But that's my prediction. Let me know your prediction in the chat, in the comment section as well. And yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you guys hopefully tomorrow if I'm feeling better post game and with a win. Thanks for watching. Ciao.